Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with something brand new. And I guess the world was looking forward to this here. We are talking
Yeah,
about The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And obviously, there were three movies, and then you had the Hobbit movies and everything
yeah,
else. But
three
this
Hobbit
is,
movies. There's
yeah,
a lot of stuff.
this is an Amazon original right here. And thus
hmm
far on IMDb, Amazon released two episodes, so we were able to
hmm
watch two episodes. Thus far,
Yeah.
it is a 6.5 rating. 55,000 people have rated this. 6.5.
Okay, can you check real quick? What is the rating for The Lord of the Rings, like the first movie, Fellowship of the
Okay.
Ring? So it was like 8.8.
8.8.
Okay.
1.8 million people actually reviewed this because I
Return of the
actually
King's
wanted
got
to
to be
do
like a
this.
9.
Okay, let's go here. Return of the Kings. That has to be.
That's
That's
got
a
to be like
nine.
it's
That's
a
a
9.
nine.
Yeah, I knew it was a 9. I knew
And
that
then
was a
the
9.
yeah, and then what's the other movie?
And
The
it,
Two
the
Towers
two towers. Yeah, the
got
two
an
towers.
8.8.
8.8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why did you want to see that? Like, what's going on?
Well, because I was interested what the user rating is, like
Hmm.
what the fans have to say about the show, what they think about it, because it's a kind of a departure from the books and the thing. Because like, we were talking about this offline. Peter Jackson directed the three Lord of the Rings movies and the three Hobbit movies, and everybody loved the Lord of the Rings movies, especially the extended cut. And then people liked, they were indifferent, but they liked the Hobbit movies. Like it went down considerably.
Hmm.
But this thing is a complete departure. Amazon reached out to him, Peter Jackson, at first, and was like, "Hey, we're gonna work on this series. You want to be involved, like consultant, or maybe direct some stuff?" And so he asked for a script, and they just totally ghosted him. They're like, "Yeah, we're good here."
They're like,
and
okay,
it,
like, let's get rid of this guy. Let's get a new director.
yeah, then he never heard back from them for like a couple of years after, until he heard they're making the thing. So these guys basically they're on their own path right now, away from the books, away from Tolkien, away from that scholar. Because Tolkien, this thing, the Lord of the Rings, is so complex and it's so beloved. Like it's in hundreds of languages. It's one of the best selling books around the world, and it's got a rabid fan base. Now, for me, I'm a casual. I just watch the movies. I'm reading the book now, okay, but
Hmm.
I, I'm a casual fan. I really like the movies. I watch the movies a lot, but like I'm a casual. But actual fans for Lord of the Rings, they are pissed right now. They are
Yeah,
not happy.
they
And
are.
so, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I was like, yo, we got to watch this show, and we got to see what we think about this show on our own. Forget the critics, forget everybody else. Let's just see what we think about the show. So let
Yeah.
me ask you this: what did
What's
you
up?
think about the show?
Oh,
What did you think about
okay. So I'm totally new. I am pure. I've never seen
it?
any Lord of the Rings movies. I've never seen any Hobbit stuff. Maybe in passing, but never sat down, watched a 3 hour
Yeah, like in the
movie. Never did that.
background, it's on
Yeah.
HBO in the background somewhere, and you're like
Yeah,
making
yeah.
some
I
coffee
mean,
or whatever.
you
Like
can
it's
find
there.
it anywhere. So I've never seen this.
Yeah.
And I was about to watch all three Lord of the Rings movies before this series
hmm
started. But then I was like, you know what? I want to go into this completely pure. So, as a pure
hmm
person going into this series,
hmm
I will say this. I thought it was pretty dope. You know,
hmm
there is you just said something about like the complexity of this here, right? Even
Yeah,
like
it's
the
very
dialogue is
complex.
a little like complex. You got to really understand where things are coming. Again, I'm not a Lord of the Rings
hmm
person, so I don't know where all this stuff is coming from. But I do like how it's all put together thus far. And I know like
hmm
people who are into this lore and everything, and they're a little pissed off, just like people were pissed off about Foundation, just like people
In
were pissed off
Halo.
about Halo, just like people were
Yeah,
pissed off
yeah.
about like whatever it is, right? And I always
Mhm,
say, you can't you can't put creativity in a bottle and close it up, right?
mhm.
You have to give
Yeah,
people the ability to be creative. Creativity is the only thing we have in this world that is pure
mhm.
from all this craziness that we're dealing with right now. Creativity is the only pure thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So to take something like this that is so epic and it's so big budget, right?
Yeah, they spent a
And
fortune on this show.
it's a fortune, right? And
Yeah,
then,
it's
for
clear. It's obvious too. It feels like they spent
if
money on
oh
this show.
dude, I mean, I think I remember when I first saw Avatar, I was like, wow, this is big budget, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not even close to this budget. Not even
It
close.
has this has an epic scale on par with the movies. I'll
Yeah.
say that because the
Yeah.
movies had like thousands of actors doing fight scenes, and it looked like thousands of actors, and they had computer generated stuff to fill in the gaps. But like it felt like thousands of people were on a battlefield. Like you didn't get the impression of there's only 20 people here and they're just redoing or whatever. Like it felt epic, and the show feels epic for
This
sure.
is real.
You get a grand scale, especially because like we were watching the Star Wars show like Boba Fett, whatever, and you could tell like, oh no, there's three people in the scene. Like it's
that's
only like it's a computer generated thing,
that's
and they throw some
that
people
is
over
it.
there, and that was it. Like
No.
it didn't feel like this is full of people, and they live here. They're doing like they're experiencing something. It just felt like there's a green screen and they painted 20 people behind this person
Yeah, no.
and
This
they're
is
just there on the screen. Like that's
this
that's
is
what a lot of these TV shows feel like. This feels epic and it feels like they spent all $500 million, whatever they spent on it.
500 half a billion plus, right? So the other
Yeah.
thing is this, all of the other three movies and The Hobbit, those were all shot in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, they moved this to England because New Zealand's got COVID restrictions.
But wait a minute, some of this was shot in New Zealand, in Auckland.
Yeah, they built up the sets in New Zealand. They started
Mhm,
filming there, and then COVID happened. And like, crap, and they couldn't get a restriction like anything to get past the restrictions, or whatever. So they
mhm.
had to rebuild the set in England and do everything from scratch again. So like
Well,
part of it's there and part of it's there. Like it's a mess.
yeah,
That's
England
part of the reason why
definitely.
the budget's so high.
Yeah, well, England definitely has that sort of countryside to film something and build everything up, you know. But
Yeah,
just
they got the castles and everything.
yeah,
They had the old feel,
right.
the
But
old
just
timey.
getting back to, me being a purist with this, man, everything
Hmm.
just look it's totally amazing. I mean, you can't front on that. And the people who have seen the movies, who've seen like Hobbit, Lord,
Hmm.
all that stuff, and they want to get wee wee status and everything. You can't front on the creativity. You can't front on the cinematic, the cinematography,
Yeah,
the CGI visually, the whole nine. Even, I don't even know these character names, but it looks
mhm.
good. And I also know this, and I would say this to people who are like hardcore fans. We're only two
Mhm.
episodes in, right?
Yeah.
Give it a little, give it a shot because people sort of freaked out with Foundation 2. It's not the book. No, it's creativity, right?
Yeah, well, because like when Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings, he made some changes to the books,
Yeah.
but like he had permission for the most
Mhm.
part. But like he did make some changes, and he like because like for movies and stuff, you gotta make a amalgamation of characters. Sometimes it's like too long winded or whatever, so you gotta put two characters together and make them one person. Like that happens all the time. But like one difference though from the movies and the books versus the series is Galadriel, she's not any of that stuff.
Well, I heard
That's
they
they
changed
made
her.
her
I heard
they
the
completely
character.
made a different character for
Yeah.
her. She's
Now,
not a warrior princess like Xena or whatever, Wonder
let me
Woman.
ask you this
She's
here
not
because
that.
we were speaking offline. So, do you think that her character in this series is before she got married, before she had children, before all of this
Well, she's
stuff?
supposed to be married at this time frame because she's thousands of years old, so she's supposed to be married right now.
Yeah. Oh boy,
And
is
I
like
don't know where that guy is.
that's
That guy's
amazing too,
60
because
in the
sometimes they
thing.
say, "Oh, I've been here for 74 years and this guy looks 20 years old." So, what's going on with that? Because again, so I'm gonna ask you
What's
this.
that?
Let me ask you some questions as a
Elves
as
live
a
a long
person.
time.
Okay. Let me
They're
ask you
pretty
these
old.
questions because you are a person who's seen the movies. So, let me ask you
Mhm.
this here. Um, are there any disappointments with the two episodes you've seen thus far based on the movies that you've watched?
I don't like the Harfoots, man. Cause like they're discount hobbits. Like
Y-
they don't have the rights to the hobbits.
Yeah.
So they look for some other thing. So Harfoots is supposed to be like some kind of offshoot of the hobbits, but they don't have Amazon doesn't have the rights to the hobbits. So they made them homeless hobbits they're hobos. They're hobo hobbits, and
Right.
they don't have baths. They don't
It,
bathe.
when I saw
They're
them,
annoying. They're
yeah,
annoying as hell.
when I saw
And
them,
the
it
thing is too,
reminded
right?
me of the Belters from like the Expanse, the
Yeah,
Belters who,
yeah,
do the groundwork, the grunt work, right?
yeah. But they're tiny humans. They're halflings or whatever they
Yeah.
call them. But like
Hmm.
they're tiny humans, and they don't bathe. They're because like the
Yeah.
hobbits, they live in the Shire, and they're clean. They take like 18 baths. They're super clean. They got their little Shire. It's like a little city. It's a
Mhm.
little tiny city with everything's made out of wood and carved, whatever. But the Harfoots are hobos. These guys are
Wow.
homeless. They're
They
they're
are
in the woods
dirty,
somewhere. Yeah,
gross looking.
everyone's got they have mud in their face. Like, damn, man. Because
Yeah.
like the hobbits are supposed to represent like a pure being that's like uncorrupted by society or whatever. Like that's what it's
Mhm.
supposed to be. They're supposed to be like pure, innocent. They don't have they haven't had the bad luck of the society going wrong on them or whatever. So they're just like happy and pure. That's what it's supposed to be.
I
And
like this world though,
Harfoot's like
man. This world looks, man,
it
this
is
world is bananas.
it is interesting. I'll say
Mhm.
that. It definitely looks cinematic, and it looks like it's got that feel of a movie. And kudos to them for trying, not skimping out and making a TV show look ghetto and pocketing the money. Like it looks right. Like it looks good.
Exactly. Let me ask you this
So,
here.
okay.
Okay, so again, we have the 2 episodes we're in. Does the world that they've created with this series look anything different or similar to the movies? Is there any differences between, the series and the movies in terms of just
Well,
geolocation, the world, everything, how things look?
I think that this world is probably closer to The Hobbit than Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings because
Okay.
in the Lord of the Rings, the dwarfs got annihilated. There's like only a few left. All their underground caverns got destroyed by the orcs, and they were unleashed this demon thing down there, and it killed everything down there. So
Mhm.
dwarfs are done for; they're finished. But so you got to see like their what's it, Casa Dune, like the dwarf underground castle where all their diamonds and gold and stuff
Yeah,
is,
that looked pretty cool
and
though. The
and you
dwarfs when
got
they
you got to
went
see
inside.
some of the dwarf thing from in the Hobbit though, so like
Mhm.
you got to see some of that aspect of it too. But like I would say it feels closer to the Hobbit than Lord of the Rings.
Now let
And
me
Lord of
ask
the
you
Rings
this
is
here.
further on in life. Yeah.
So who's okay, you have the dwarfs and you have the elves, right?
Yeah.
You also have the humans. I guess they'll come into play because right now we only see one or two. I don't know. Um,
Mhm.
and you also have the orcs. So out of the dwarfs and the elves, right? Which race is more technologically advanced? Is it the dwarfs or is it the
That's the
elves?
elves. Elves
Okay.
by far in advance.
Now,
Elves are
which
basically on and they're based modern times to compare to where everybody else is down there.
even more so than the humans?
Yeah, way so. Like
Okay.
the elves,
So
they're doing their own thing.
who has the most advanced army? Is it the elves or the dwarfs?
Well, I think the elves would be more like the Marines or something
Mhm.
like that. Like they're more advanced fighting, but in smaller groups. Uh, Dwarfs, there's a lot of them too. So like there's a large number of dwarfs
They just
alive
throw like
still.
the whole kitchen
Yeah,
sink at you, huh? Like,
and
go get them.
orc is unlimited. You can make as many orcs as you need to go fight something. Because like
Right.
when you watch Lord of the Rings, you can see the amount of orcs they brought to the battlefield, and it is nuts. It is. You can see like I won that aspect of one of the battles they had. I think it was the Two Towers. The men are in their castle and they're watching the army of orcs come towards them, and like they're peeing their pants because they're like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like this." Like
Right.
it's like blacking out the sun kind of thing. So many the soldiers they had. So like yeah, it's a problem when the orcs are coming to town. It's a problem.
I
Okay.
was reading through the comments on IMDb for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of
Mhm.
Power, and those who are just like totally into the movies, a lot of them have been saying, "Well, this is not quite like the movies, but it's interesting, and I would give it a shot." Now you have on
Mhm.
the other side, on the other spectrum,
Yeah,
people
it's
just
like
going
there's a
nuts,
hate.
people losing
Yeah,
their shirt, their mind
we
over
have
this.
there's two aspects of this. There's this is the worst thing ever. May you guys die a horrible death in a car crash. And then other people were like, this is the best thing ever. You guys are just babies. Just suck it up. We can do whatever we want to your property.
Yeah,
It's
I don't get that.
it's a battle right now,
You
and
know,
I think it's dumb. All that stuff
you
is dumb.
like the last 2 or 3 James Bond movies, right?
Mhm,
They gave James Bond emotions, right?
mhm.
He fell in love, right? Totally different than all the other James Bond stuff, right?
Yeah, upending the books and everything.
Not to mention they kill him. They kill the 007 in the last movie,
Yeah,
right? He
yeah, people were
dies, right?
mad. People were mad. I still haven't
But
seen the last movie yet.
yeah, but you know what? And I was kind of weird about that too, but I was like, okay, this is the next part of it, right? This is the next
Well,
iteration of this, right?
they're gonna
Can that
reboot
be
the
the
whole series.
same? But can it be the same with Lord of the Rings? Like again, we have a series. We know that there is not a
Mhm.
production company in Hollywood like an Amazon or Apple TV or Netflix that can throw $500 million at a movie or a TV series. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, 'cause most of them would go under if they did. But like, there's
Right.
so much riding on this show. This show has to be a hit, or Amazon Studios is going to go out of business. This has to be a hit. Everything that they're producing for Amazon is riding on this show being a colossal hit. And if it doesn't do numbers, it's a problem for everybody there. Everybody's getting
Well,
fired.
it can't be Oscar nominated because it needs to be a theatrical. It needs to be in the
Yeah,
theaters, you know.
it's a TV show, so it'd be like
Right.
what's the thing? The
The Emmys, I
Tony's?
think. I
No,
think the Emmys.
Emmys.
Tony is
Yeah, Tony's
Broadway.
is
Yeah.
Broadway. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so again, thus far, 2 episodes and as a pure newbie, I'm feeling this.
Mhm,
I like it. I don't know about the 6.5 rating. As a matter of fact, if we just go over
mhm,
to back to IMDb, the separate episodes, the first episode got a 7.4 and the second episode 7.2. So obviously, they averaged them out.
mhm.
Um, I think this is going to do well over time. Again, like I said, the world, the visuals, the CGI, the
Mhm.
the drama, it's epic. This it looks,
It's got
man, it
it
looks
definitely got a big
great.
feel to it.
It looks
Yeah,
stunning.
it visually it looks stunning. I hope they land the story. The story has to be spectacular.
I gotta ask you this, Keo, because I kind of sense some, you're a little skeptical in your voice. I hear.
I'm very skeptical because like a
Really?
lot of TV shows are
Give
like,
it to us.
yeah, it
Tell me
started
why. Why
great.
are you skeptical about this?
Well, it's the thing. Like a lot of these shows, like if you watch the Game of Thrones, right?
Mhm.
It started off phenomenal. Everybody's like they're loving this show. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then somewhere in when they ran out of books in season 6, they didn't know what direction to take it, and the show fell apart. And the problem with this show, the Lord of the Rings show, is that there are no books, so that there's no kind of landing place that you're supposed to get to eventually. They are winging it right now. And so who knows where they're going with the direction of this thing? Like they're not supposed to there's not a place they need to get to. Like because you can tell if they have a thing they have to get to, you do whatever you want in the middle, but as long as you get to this one point, everybody's gonna be happy. Like, all right, cool. You know,
True.
you got to this part, everything's great. All right, it handles the way expectations are, whatever. Everybody's pensive because the expectations for this show is high. Like Amazon is scared right now because they spent so much money on it, and the fans are like, we've been begging for like some kind of Lord of the Rings content, and you made this thing, but you kind of deviated your own thing. So I hope you know what you're doing, because if you don't, you got a problem on your hands too. So like, there's a lot of apprehension from every side. Like all sides are like they're concerned about this. So like, I hope they tell a compelling, amazing story that at least fans of the book can be like, you know what, it kind of it went away from what I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. I liked it; it was still good because like I'm a casual Lord of the Rings fan. I'm
Mhm.
not like deep in the lore or whatever, but like I know enough,
Right.
and the world is good. so far. I like all the characters except the Harfoots. The Harfoots can kick rocks. Like they're annoying to me. And
Mhm.
Galadriel is kind of like I'm not sure about her yet. She's a little too headstrong for my liking, and it's a complete departure from what her character is supposed to be later on. So like I hope she tones that down and kind of gets some kind of perspective, whatever. But like overall, I'm okay with it. I like the story. I like where this is going. It's doing a prequel, Sauron. Like they're getting the prequel to the thing is so.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right, and then maybe I think that's Gandalf that fell down to Earth too. So like, all right, you're doing a prequel for everything that you don't have
I
rights to. So
I was
all
about to
right,
say, is this guy's name Merlin? Because he looks like a Merlin, doesn't he?
yeah. Well, that's where all these things came from. Is from this book.
Let me put some
They set
things
the
into
standard for it.
perspective. Like, who was it? Paramount that like wasted $90 million on Catgirl or Catwoman? Which one was that?
It's Warner Brothers. Warner
Warner
Brothers did
Brothers.
it.
Okay. Um, Amazon loses between $2 and $4 billion a year in shrinkage, basically returns, right?
Yeah.
A lot of time, Amazon will say when you want to return and it's a T-shirt or something, they'll say, "Oh, just keep it. We'll send you another one." They'll say that because now that's what
Mhm,
a lot of companies are doing. They're saying, "Don't send it to me. You get rid of it. We'll just
mhm.
handle like the money part." But shrinkage returns are $2 to $4 billion. Amazon
Yeah.
just spent a little over a half a billion on this one TV series. I kind of think that that's not a lot of money to a company like Amazon. It's just not, right?
Yeah, but the TV department, the movie department doesn't have that much money to work with.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to increase their budget if this bombs and pay for the other movies they had planned.
Well, if this bombs, the next series, if there's going to be like a second series, it's going to be a lot less. And here's
But they
something
have
else that I
they have
realized too.
5 seasons planned for this show.
Oh, I love that. That's kind of cool. Are we going to rate this thus far? I guess we should, huh?
I'll give it, I would say a 7, 7.5.
Hmm.
Because I like it, but I'm still apprehensive about what's going on here. And Galadriel, she's got to step her game up, man. She's driving me crazy. Like she's so annoying right now. And the Senior Warrior Princess thing is like it's wearing thin. Like you gotta tone it down, start using your head. Cause you had the very first scene of this show is her own army turning her back on her. Like that's crazy. That shows
that,
you like you're doing something wrong here.
that was kind of
Like they're
dope
like
too, though,
we
wasn't it?
yeah, they're
Mhm.
like we'll go to battle with you anywhere. Like this, yeah, you had elves fainting in the mountaintop, and she's like,
Right.
we gotta keep going. You're like,
Hmm.
yo, that you're a terrible leader. You should be like, yo, okay, let's regroup. What do you guys think? Like, how can we work this thing out? She's like, we're gonna keep going. They left her a little, and we have to talk about her swimming in the ocean, bruh.
Where's the
That's the
land?
dumbest thing I've ever seen
Where's
in
the
a TV
land?
show. But you didn't, because here's the thing, right? They showed the map of where she was swimming from. So like she wasn't anywhere at like a little island. Like there
No.
was no dig. It was a miracle that they found her on that broken up ship. That's a
The
miracle that
raft,
happened.
exactly. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. She was swimming basically from Europe to like Mexico.
She was
Like
swimming across the English Channel, basically. Exactly.
yes.
Europe to Mexico.
I'm saying from Europe. So not even from
Right.
from
Not
China or
like
something like that.
Texas, not
No.
Texas to Mexico. Like,
She was swimming from Europe,
right.
going all the way past America to get to
Right.
Mexico. That's how
Wow.
far she was swimming. So
That
I'm
is
like, yo,
that's so true.
that was your plan? You're just gonna hop off the boat? Like that was insane.
Yeah.
You didn't take a piece of wood, like a plank or something. Like, she tried to swim the whole way back. That's an insane person right there. That's a crazy
Yeah.
person.
It's so weird, like just really quickly, it's so weird when she was in there. I was like, well, is she gonna use any magic to try to get away? But used no magic. All she has is this knife. So it's gonna be interesting to see how her character
Mhm.
progress. I'm going to give this an 8.5. The two episodes combined, I'm gonna give it an
Mhm.
8.5 because as a newbie, I think
Mhm.
we're all like just excited about this because it looks man, this thing is so epic. The
Yeah.
worlds, the visuals, the CGI, the cinematography, you know,
Mhm.
and the other thing that's people don't talk about as much, just reading the comments, I saw it in some of the comments. The
Mhm,
dialogue between the characters, man, is awesome, right? It's
mhm,
very clear. The dialogue is very clear. What these people are trying to do, it's very clear. That's
mhm.
kind of awesome. Like it's no like sort of okay, what's going on? We know what's going to pop off in episode number 3 because
Hey, they're about to pop off. There's gonna be some wars and battles.
right, we know it's going to pop off. So I think thus far, and again, as a newbie, I'm pure to
Mhm,
this. I'm giving it an 8.5. I
mhm,
think it looks good. I think thus far everything looks great. And I would say people who are like totally into this stuff, just give it a try. Just give it a chance. Wait until 4 or 5. It's not going to be the same as the movies. Forget about it. It's not.
it's not even remotely close to
No, this
movies.
is different money here. This is different money. So it's not going to be. It's similar, but it's not going to be
Yeah,
on point. So give it a
I
try.
have to say though,
Mhm.
for the movies to be that old and still stand up the way they do is
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
Like,
that's true.
that is a testament to skillful directing
That's
that
true.
these things hold up that much. Because it does not feel dated at all, especially the special effects. It does
It
not feel
man,
dated at
it
all.
looks
So
awesome. And I will say this as well, because again, people are losing their minds because this is not like the movies, right? I'm gonna
mhm.
like, and I have a lot of respect for those people because they put their blood, sweat, and tears into reading like 6, 7 books, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
They're
they read a lot of
into
stuff.
it, right? They're
It
into it. These are people who are dedicated to this stuff. So
yeah.
I understand that.
Well, because the thing is, though, they were dedicated before it was popular, and it was like, "Oh,
Right.
we gotta make a movie about this." They were dedicated. So, like, I understand their beefs about, like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, and this is not what we expected. 'Cause, like, there's a lot of times when people come in and start changing stuff, and it's for people who were there from the beginning, you feel like, "Yo, what the hell?"
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
there's no respect here at all. So, I
That's
get it. I
true.
totally get it. I will say, though, the show, it's good. It's not terrible. It is good. You know, there's things that I think that people can enjoy that read the books and whatever. And I'm trying to read the book right now, so I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to catch up. I've seen the movies a bunch of times, and I love the universe that it's so imaginative and creative, and
Yeah,
I
so
I like the universe. The universe is phenomenal. That's why I'm telling you, if you like the TV show, you're gonna love the movies. The movies are phenomenal.
I'm I'm
They're special.
I'm actually after this series is over, like just based on the
You gonna
two
check it out?
episodes I watched, I'm kind
Mhm.
of looking forward to watching the movies now. I don't want to know
Alright.
about the movies. I want to know what's going on with the series. I want to get into this whole
Mhm.
category, this whole space, the Lord of the Rings space. From this, my entry point will be the series. Then after that,
Mhm.
I will start diving into some of the movies, but I'm
Yeah,
not
because
going to
this
do
is
that now.
basically this is a prequel, like, thousands of years in the
Right.
past, and then so, yeah, like, a lot of stuff is different in Lord of the Rings, but, like, that's why I say it's closer to The Hobbit. It feels closer to The Hobbit, but,
Yeah.
like, because the dwarfs are there and they're doing their thing, but, like, and there's dragons, but, like, Lord of the Rings, the TV show, I mean, the movie, when you watch it, I think you're gonna thoroughly enjoy it. If you
I
enjoy
think so
this
too.
thing, this
Yeah.
universe, you're gonna like the movies. The movies they are phenomenal. And the extended thing, you don't notice how long these movies are. You're gonna get in and you're like, holy crap,
Let's
4 hours
let's
just
hope
passed.
let's hope that I don't like realize that this is a 3-hour movie that I'm watching with no
I'm
intermission.
telling you,
Mhm.
because my sister hates all of this stuff. She thinks it's all corny. She thinks it's the lamest thing ever.
Yeah.
And she sat down and watched the Fellowship of the Ring.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh my god, oh this is great." So she was like, we got to watch the next movie. When's the next movie coming out?" And then we watched the Two Towers and the Return of the King, and like she's a fan now. She watches the movies religiously whenever they're on, when she can see them on TV, whatever. So like because of that, that's how good the movies are. I can't stress this enough. The
Yeah.
hardcore fans who hate everything was like, all right, Peter Jackson did his thing. All right, he got it. He got as close as you could get. So,
Gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. But I'm totally into this show. So so I gave it an
Mhm.
8.5. You gave it what, a 7?
I give it 7.5. I think
7.5.
it's good. I
Okay.
think it's good so far.
All right. So, again, Lord of the Rings on Amazon, a series. This is exciting. Totally looking forward to episode number 3. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.